This is Dr. Batts with your morning medicine. It may sting a little bit, it may even burn, but surely it will do what medicine does, and that's heal. Recently, my elder Camilla Green shared an article with me about windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors, and it stuck. Because the older I get, the more I realize healing, growth, leadership, and transformation are deeply connected to what we're able to see, what reflects back at us, and whether somebody helps us walk through the door. Some people come into your life as windows. They let you see what's possible. You grew up in one neighborhood, one family system, one prison block, one school, one level of pain, one environment, one way of thinking. Then suddenly you meet somebody different, somebody healed, somebody disciplined, somebody educated, somebody emotionally grounded, somebody building wealth legally, someone leading with integrity, somebody calm, somebody faithful, somebody healthy. And through them, you realize there's another way to live. That's a window. Windows matter because many of us were born into environments where survival was normalized, but possibility was not. You can't become what you've never seen. We always say representation matters, right? Like there are billboards of me at airports or just on interstates across the country, across the world, right? There are flyers floating around, images on the internet, TED Talks, videos, and sometimes people think it's about ego. No, it's about understanding representation matters, that there's a little 12-year-old me that needs to see me to know that they can be more. The fact that I'm called Dr. Batts, half of my team has gone back and gotten a doctorate. I became a doctor because I was exposed to doctors, because exposure changes people. But mirrors matter too. A mirror reflects you back to yourself. Some people help you remember who you are underneath the trauma, underneath the addiction, underneath the prison number, underneath the heartbreak, underneath the abandonment, the violence, the shame, the mistakes. They remind you that you still matter, that you still have purpose, and that you are not beyond repair, that there is still greatness in you. And some of us desperately needed that mirror because life only reflected our worst moments back to us. The streets can do that. Prisons can do that. Systems can do that. Toxic relationships can do that. Even toxic or unhealthy families of origin can do that. Can say everything after you are is negative versus you are beautiful, you are brilliant, you are special, you are loved, you are kind. And that's dangerous. It's dangerous. You have to stop seeing your future and only see your failures. That's what it causes you to do. Because eventually, people become what they repeatedly see themselves as. That's why environment matters. That's why community matters. That's why relationships matter. You need mirrors that reflect your humanity, not just your history. But here's the deepest part. The goal isn't just windows. The goal isn't just mirrors. The goal is sliding glass doors. A window lets you see the possibility, right? A mirror lets you see yourself clearly, right? The best in you. But a sliding glass door lets you enter a new life. And a lot of people spend years looking through the glass, but never walking through it. They admire healing, admire peace, admire discipline, admire love, admire purpose, admire stability. But eventually, you have to walk through that door. You have to become the person. You have to do the work. You have to release the old identities. You have to stop visiting your future and start living in it. And that's hard. Because transformation costs something. Sometimes it costs comfort. Sometimes it costs relationships. Sometimes it costs ego. Sometimes it costs habits. Sometimes it costs identity. Sometimes a survival version of yourself that once kept you alive is the cost. But hear me clearly this morning. You were not created to spend your whole life staring through windows at the life that you deserve. You got to remember 50 said it, right? You're a window shopper. Are you just looking at things that you want? Or are you ready to pay the price? Walk through the door. And once you do, become a window for somebody else. Become a mirror for somebody else. Become proof that the door can open. You know, I've always believed my work was bigger than gatekeeping. I never wanted to be the person standing at the top floor saying good luck, or just looking down at people. I believed in sending the elevator back down, back to the basement, back to the lower floors, back to the people who were overlooked, underestimated, criminalized, forgotten, or counted out. The motto, right? We know it. We lift as we climb. Mama Bats was a Panther, and she taught me about social responsibility and what we needed to do for the next generation and for our people, right? But I remember one of my mentees challenged me. Once what he said to me was that, it really stopped me in my tracks, right? He said, you create so many opportunities and so much access, but some people need a blueprint, not just an opportunity. Some people need a map. And it hit me, and he was right, because access without guidance can still feel overwhelming. Some people finally get in the building, but don't know what floor to go to. Don't know how to move in the room, don't know the language, don't know the culture, don't know the expectations, don't even know what to wear. So I paused, and I recommitted myself to the mission. Not just sending the elevator down, but sending it down with a map. Sometimes getting in the elevator myself. Sometimes sending guides. Sometimes taking somebody by the hand and saying, you don't have to figure this out alone. Let me show you the way. Now, I can't scale that all the time, right? But we build courses. We train other people. We use social media. We use AI. We use systems that can support people in navigating success. Because we always say success leaves clues. Because that's what love looks like. That's what leadership looks like. That's what community looks like. Not judging people for not knowing, but helping them navigate what they were never taught. Truth is, healing changes what you see. Growth changes what you reflect. But transformation happens when somebody helps you believe you belong on another floor. This is Dr. Batts with your morning medicine. If this message spoke to you, share my voice with someone that needs to know more is possible. I'll see you tomorrow.